Today we're going to do a comparison video, and I'm super excited for this video. This is one of the first ones that I know of this comparison out there. It's a thing that I was trying to figure out when I was searching for an espresso machine and what I wanted and what was the value for the money. So today we're going to compare this Breville Barista Express, which is retail at $700. I'm going off of retail price, not sale prices. You usually can find this on sale somewhere over the holidays, versus a fully manual setup. So we got the Flair Pro here, which retails for about $300. We got the air grind made by Knock, which is a hand grinder, roughly $160. And we have the Bellman steamer right here, which is going to be roughly $110. And then we have the Fellow Stag EKG Plus here, which is $200, but the EKG is $150 without the Bluetooth setting, which you really don't need the Bluetooth setting. So you got 300 plus 150 plus 150, that's 600 bucks, 700 bucks there, $720 for this trio of manual machines right here versus $700 of this all-inclusive one. Plus the kettle, which you can find a cheaper kettle that will do just as good for the Flair because you don't need the pour over control that you have with this Stag EKG by Fellow. So which one would I buy again? What one was worth it? What one wasn't? To be all honest, I paid for this one. This one I borrowed from my work during the coronavirus. We had it there, so I decided to take it home and play with it, and my boss was okay with it. So my comparison with this is $700-ish versus $700-ish. Which one is worth it and why? First off, I did a side-by-side speed test, which you can find on my YouTube channel there. I'd love for you to subscribe and join. But I did a side-by-side comparison on which one's going to make an 8-ounce latte quicker. The Flair Bellman hand grinding versus the Breville with the automatic grinder in there. And I was surprised at how close it was. You can watch that video to see more and which one was faster and by how much. But I was surprised at how close it was. I thought this one would win in a landslide by like 5 minutes or something like that, but it really didn't make a difference. And if you upgrade that grinder to electric one, you're going to save 60 seconds on your time. I think that's what it took me to grind manually. The nice thing about this is, in all honesty, in the morning when I'm making coffee, I think this one's a little nicer to use for the sake of you can watch your shot while it comes out and you don't have to pull a lever the entire time, versus this one you clearly have to go like this the entire time, manual grinding. The nice thing about the Bellman is the Bellman steams way quicker than this steam wand here. But overall, in general, this is something I wanted to figure out for a long time because I was really struggling whether or not I wanted to dump $700 on this or $700 on this and which one was going to get me further. And I think I made the right choice going with the Flair. The nice thing about this is with this entire setup, you can make espresso anywhere. This fits in a little bag. The Flair fits in a little bag. You can take it anywhere you want within reason. You have a kettle. A really, really nice kettle, best one you can buy. You have a hand grinder. So basically, if you want to, you're not limited to just espresso with this setup. You can buy a $6 V60 or a Chemex or something along the lines with that, and you can just have more brewing options. You can do pour overs with it, versus this setup, you're solely stuck on espresso or lattes, things like that, or Americanos, because it does have the hot water tab. The nice thing, it is kind of nice to have a machine, but honestly, the nice thing about the Flair is after using it for 3-ish years, I think, 3 years, I haven't had anything really break on it. Outside of a pressure gauge, but that was my fault because I brewed in 20-degree weather outside. So I broke it, but that was on me solely. And I haven't had any maintenance on it outside of cleaning the portafilter every single time I make it, which is a normal thing, which you're going to have to do with that. So you basically have everything you need here for $700, maybe a little more or a little less depending on the kettle you go with. I think there's a Bonavita one out there, which you can see my review on that and the comparison between the Bonavita on that. I think it's hovers around $60 on Amazon versus 150 or 200 if you want the Bluetooth on that, versus the 700 on this. It's hands down, I wouldn't change what I did. Maybe the only thing I would is I would get a nicer grinder, but I'm still pretty happy with that one. That does the job. I got the Sete 270WI as my actual grinder, but for the sake of this video I wanted to compare the price points because that one's a little bit more expensive than the air grind. But basically, hands down, I would choose the Flare in a heartbeat again. It's fully manual. You don't ever have to worry about descaling or flushing the group head that you have to do on this. Basically all you have to do is just simply knock out the puck and things like that. They both have the downside of the fact this is a 54 millimeter portafilter. That's like a 48 or something like that. So you're not going to get the commercial size 58 yet with either one of these machines unless you spend more money. The Flare doesn't even have one out yet, but I heard a rumor that it might come later down the road. We'll see. Versus this one, like, you can upgrade for a while. This grinder for $150 does way better than this grinder. And I've used this grinder for about 2 months with this Breville. You can see that I have another Breville Smart Grinder Pro in the background, which is $200, and this hand grinder still outweighs it. The nice thing about anything manual is there's less things that can break on it. There's less issues that you have. It's a little more effort in the morning to make your coffee or to make your latte, but overall the time and money of lack of maintenance and lack of worrying about if something breaks down or 2 years down the road, like, this thing will last me for a long time without having any issues. That hand grinder has lasted me a long time outside of the I had to tape the bottom back on, but that's not a huge deal. Even with that almost $600 electric grinder, I've had to fix it quite a few times and put a lot of work into it. But Baratza has been great and sent me the parts for free to fix it. But it's still just kind of a nice that I haven't had to fix anything on my manual setup except for replace a few O-rings on that guy. But I hope you found this video helpful. The only reason you would want to get this is maybe for the fact that you're not super picky on the quality of your shot that comes out of it. You're going to get better milk out of the Bellman than out of this. When you steam it, you're going to get a better shot out of the Flare versus the Breville. But either machine, you're going to have to spend a lot of work into. You're not just going to grind some beans and make the perfect shot right away. It's going to take some time and it's going to take some work getting used to it. But in the end, it's worth it. In the end, it's worth the little bit of extra time that it takes to use the Flare in the morning. And I would buy this thing again in a heartbeat. I don't regret any of these purchases. I thought I regretted that Bellman many times. And then I used the steam one on this Breville. And hands down, that one was way better. So again, you got like $720 or give or take on that. I think this is $310 on Prima's, or the Flare's $310 on Prima's website, $160 on Prima's website, $110 on Prima's website, $150 on Prima's website. So that's $730 if I did my math correctly, and that's without any coupons versus $700 without any coupons as well. And again, you can always drop down a little bit on the kettle, get something cheaper. I think you can order the Knock grinder from Germany or wherever it's made, and it's a little cheaper through there. The Flare sometimes gives some discounts on it. The Bellman steamer is a little bit harder to find discounts on it. There's not a lot of places that sell it, but you can still get $10, $15, $20 knocked off of it here and there. Either way, whatever you buy, you're going to end up needing to get a scale. This one's great for measuring. It's a Kaya Pearl in black. This one doesn't exist anymore, but it's a Kaya Cinco. It's a 5th anniversary one. There's the lunar version, which is $220, which is about in between these sizes. They do make this in black now, though, for $250. But buy a $20 one off Amazon. It's probably a little bit better investment than dropping $200 on a scale. So I hope you have learned something from this. If you have any questions, if you want to know more about anything that I have here, just let me know, and we can see and go from there of what you want to hear and what I can do to help you with your purchases and figuring out what's the best espresso setup or coffee setup for you in your home based off of your lifestyle. So go ahead and subscribe, and go ahead and check out a few of my other videos too as well. Thanks.